the United States Constitution. The Constitution of the United States. I don't know if you can read it. It shows up backwards for me, but I read it all the time. This one fits right in my pocket. I can take it with me anywhere. I can give them out to you if you want them. 36 cents. Well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. No soldier shall, in the time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in manner of to be prescribed by law. So we need to remember those two things, because when posse comitatus is violated, and it's already being violated in some areas of the country, you're going to have military posted up outside people's doors, on people's neighborhoods, out front of stores. I went to Stop and Shop, and they have the big rectangular Motorola panel next to the security camera, which is facial recognition. You hold out your iPhone, and you see the square that it makes around your face. It's facial recognition. It's dangerous for me to even talk about this thing when you have guys like Charles Dyer, who get, what looks to me framed for child molestation and having a grenade launcher, which a well-regulated militia should have a grenade launcher. Now, maybe I should tell you guys about Charles Dyer, because it's kind of a controversial subject. You have Marine Corps Sergeant Charles Dyer, who he had his falling out with the Marine Corps. I could get into that, but that's another story for another day. He was never, ever proved to have done any actual wrongdoing to have a falling out with the Marine Corps, but anyways, like I said, another story for another day. Charles Dyer was a member of the Oath Keepers. And the Oath Keepers is an organization that is makes the Tea Party look bad. Oath Keepers believe heavily in the Constitution. They believe strongly that our forefathers gave us a set of rules to follow and a set of guidelines to uphold, so that we would never find ourselves in the situation we are in today, which is who's going to protect us from police, military, and government when they decide, not if, when they decide to take over. Because like I had mentioned earlier, every time there's a gun grab, history has shown dire consequences following. Hitler did it when he shortly thereafter committed the worst human extermination that the world has ever seen. He took guns from people while he was surrounded by children, kind of like what Barack Obama did before he signed his first round of administrative bans on firearms. So you have Charles Dyer. I'll give you the ABC News report. I think it's from about a year ago. I'll explain to you everything that's wrong with it after. And I can't claim to know anything for certain. I can never claim to know everything for certain, but I can claim to know that I do my homework, and things are backlogged and referenced everywhere throughout history. Every side of a story has another side of the story. Sometimes you'll find consistency in the story to know that things often happen the way that they were said, or it was completely fabricated. None of us can know. So you have this report from ABC. An ex-Marine who was on the lam from the FBI and believed to be armed and dangerous has been captured in Texas. Charles Dyer, Charles Dyer, 31, of Duncan, Oklahoma, was wanted for failing to appear in court on charges that he raped a 7-year-old girl. Now, what they don't tell you in this report is that 7-year-old girl was his fiance's daughter. Again, they neglect to tell you certain things in an effort to divert attention. Police said he was known to have weapons and was part of a right-wing anti-government group, and that's referring to the Oath Keepers, which they're not a right-wing anti-government group. They're a Constitution-abiding, fraternity almost. They want to uphold the Constitution. They're not anti. I mean, it's not that they're anti-government. They're pro-small government. So the FBI said a resident notified authorities this morning about a suspicious person walking near a daycare center in Pecan Grove, Texas, which led police to locate Dyer walking alongside of a road and ordered him to the ground. Police said he provided a false name, and first, before police found any ID on him, Dyer confirmed his identity to them. Dyer was unarmed at the time of his arrest, but had $1,500 cash and a GPS system with him. He told police he had been hiding in brush near the side of a creek for the past 5 or 6 days, and that police had come within 10 meters of him during their search, according to APC News affiliate KTRK. Charles Dyer will face rape and flight charges. He will be extradited back to Oklahoma, where he will be tried in state court for sexual assault charges and also in federal court for unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, according to Clay Simmons, spokeswoman for the FBI in Oklahoma. Simmons said Dyer will likely remain in prison with no bail until he is tried for his crimes. Authorities feared that a confrontation with Dyer could have been violent, as Dyer was an outspoken member of a right-wing group called the Oath Keepers that called members to rise against, and they put this in quote, to rise up against tyrannical government, because they don't take it seriously. He had uploaded a video of himself telling authorities that if they came to his home armed, he would have the right to defend himself. The FBI launched a 12-state search for Dyer after he failed to show up to court in Stephens County, Oklahoma, and authorities found his mobile home burned to the ground. Dyer was known to have multiple weapons and had previously been indicted by the federal government for illegally possessing a grenade launcher. Followers and friends of Dyer posted YouTube videos saying that they would help their friend, known online as July 4 Patriot, defend himself against the FBI. So, what I know about Charles Dyer: he was in fact part of the Oath Keepers, and that he was head of the New American militia, where he invited people to come to his training facility to train with firearms in a military suburban setting. He said that DHS would probably have called them a terrorist camp, which he was probably right, because Department of Homeland Security does not care about Homeland Security. If they did, they would stop what's going on in Texas, Arizona, and along the borders.